Some poultry mistakes do not look dangerous at the beginning until you start experiencing mortality, or the moment you notice that, oh, your birds are not eating well, that is, there is a loss of appetite. That is when you know that, oh, something is wrong somewhere. So guys, before you start that your poultry farming, or if you have already started but you have not gotten it right, then you really need to sit back and watch this video to the very end, so as to learn from these mistakes that I want to talk about. So the first mistake I'll be talking right there is you not having a business plan. Yes, a lot of people might be wondering that, why do I need a business plan before starting my business? Because a business plan is really going to help you structure your business perfectly well. And then when I'm talking about business plan simply means that you really want to like track everything from the onset, because having a business plan simply means that you have a goal. You want to have a business goal. You want to have like a vision. Where do you see yourself between now and the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years or more? But if you are just starting without having a business plan, then you might actually consider yourself as being an hustler. Maybe you just want to venture into this business and make profits. Then when you make that profit, you just spend it, you know. You are not really into this commercial poultry farming because you want to like have a business with it. That you do not have the plan to like scale or what have you. But if you have the plan to scale and build a brand from that particular poultry farming, even if you are starting with 100 birds, and then maybe in the next 3-5 years you want to like increase your capacity from 100 birds to maybe thousands of birds, then you need a business plan. So the second thing is the poor brooding management. So like I used to make, you know, for you to have a successful broiler farming, even a poultry farming, it starts from your brooding. This is where everything makes sense. So you want to ensure that the birds are not cold, they are not hot, there is no wet litters, and there is enough ventilation. So if you can actually get your brooding right, then I can bet it with you that your chances of having a high production is of having a successful production rather is very high. So the next one is that ignoring record keeping. So one of the mistakes that most farmers make is that they do not even keep record at all. Even their financial records, they don't keep it. So when it comes to record keeping, you are tracking your production performance, you are tracking your expenses, you are tracking your sales or your income, as well as your key performance metrics. That is your KPM. That is, are you making profits or are you making loss? So if you are not tracking all of this, definitely you don't even know what your production is like. So at the end of each cycle, you should be able to know how much profit or how much loss you are making. Are you making 10% profit, 20%, 30% or 40% profit, or you are making a loss? So you want to track your production performance. That is your opening stock. If you'll be having mortality, your closing stocks as well. So this will help you to know whether your production is even okay from onset. So for example, now if you want to track your mortality, if you are raising broilers, for example, your first 1 week, maybe the mortality should just be around 1%. So if you are raising maybe 500 broilers and then you have mortality within 5 or maximum of 10, that is 2%, then you want to know that, okay, I think these birds are still doing very well. But if it is more than that, it is record keeping that will help you track that so you are not doing something right. So you want to track your record keeping. This is where you know your FCR, that so the feed you are using, are these birds really converting it better? Yeah, because the quality of the feeds your birds are eating is going to determine their FCR as well. So aside from the breed, the feed you give to them too will determine whether you are using a commercial feed, professional feed, or you want to do a mixture of the two together. So in my own farm, I do both commercial and professional feed, and then the FCR will be getting, it will be quite different from someone who is using a professional feed all through, and then the result I will be getting will be better than someone who is using commercial feed all through. I hope you understand. So it is record keeping that can actually help you do this. It is through record keeping that you can actually get this, that is the quantity of feed your birds are consuming on a daily basis. So you have to record all of this so that if there is loss of appetite, it will be easier for you to like detect that. So these birds, they do not eat as much as they ate the previous day, or if there is a drop in their feed intake, or maybe you are supposed to have increased their feed but they are not even completing the quantity you are giving them. So this is really going to help you track better, and you should know that something is going wrong somewhere. So if you don't know how to keep good records, kindly click the link in my description box. I have a link there that will actually direct you to my record keeping template. So this template is going to help you track your production performance, your expenses, that is how much money that is going out, that is your income, and so what is coming in, your pricing, as well as your key performance metrics. So there is actually a template that you can use that has been designed for you, and everything has been well explained there. So you want to learn about what uniformity is, FCR is, weight gain, this and that, you definitely find that in that ebook. So just click the link in the description for you to get that template. And then another mistake is overcrowding. So many of you want to do more beds, because one thing about poultry farming is, the sweet thing with poultry farming is in numbers. So you that you are doing 200 beds and someone that is doing 1,000 beds, so it's in the numbers. And even someone, the more beds you do, the lesser your cost of production. That's another thing. So which means your chances of making more money is high when you are doing more. And for the fact that even someone that is doing 200 beds and another person doing 1,000 beds is going to stay the same days, the same weeks, you'll be selling your beds at the same time at the end of your production cycles. So a lot of farmers just feel like, let them just, you know, bombard their pen with a lot of beds. So this leads into overcrowding, and then overcrowding is not good, because when there is overcrowding, there will be too much of heat, and then the beds will be stressed, the ventilation will be poor, disease will spread faster, as well as cannibalism. You see that in your pen, your beds might be fighting or some sorts like that. So that's another thing, overcrowding. You want to avoid overcrowding. So the next mistake you want to avoid as a farmer is your poor biosecurity. So poor biosecurity, you are the type of person that you allow anyhow person to enter your farm. Maybe because you are doing a backyard poultry farming does not mean that every nooks and cranny can actually get into your pen. You need to like stop that. You want to ensure that your feeders, your equipment are not contaminated, having a foot bath, and you know there is so much under biosecurity. So one thing is that you want to like ensure your biosecurity is actually okay, it is perfect for you to have a successful production. So this is another mistake that a lot of farmers used to make. They don't check biosecurity. And then another thing on my list right there is delaying treatment. Many farmers, because most of these farmers don't keep records, so you don't even know whether your birds are losing appetite, or maybe they are losing appetite or not, because you are not recording the quantity of food you are giving them. You are just feeding them like, oh, these birds are eating, so they eat a lot, whereas they're not even eating as much as they are supposed to eat. So maybe there is now a reduction in their feed intake, but because you don't keep records, so you don't know whether there is loss of appetite or not. When you see certain signs like maybe brownish poo or something, before it turns to a bloody poop, that is a severe coccidiosis. So it is better for you to like start treatment earlier enough. And in certain situations you might actually be experiencing greenish poo. And one thing is that a lot of people used to confuse greenish poo with Newcastle disease. Newcastle disease is not the only kind of form of disease that will give you greenish poo. Greenish poo is just like a sign. This is one of the symptoms. Like in humans, headache is a common sign. Whether you have malaria, we have headache, typhoid headache, IBP. Someone with high blood pressure we also have headache. So it's just like you're not tagging headache to something peculiar, that's something specific. So greenish poo does not really mean that so your pets have Newcastle. So these are the things you have to like note when it comes to production. This is another mistake. So do not delay treatment. The moment you realize that something is off on your farm, ensure you start treatment immediately. So if you don't know what treatment to use, you can just reach out to a vet so that they can actually curtail that before it becomes something very, very severe. And the last thing on my list right there is poor feed management. And when I'm talking about poor feed management, is that it depends on, this is where your feed quality, like I said initially, that someone that is using commercial feed all through, it depends on the kind of results you want. So if you want smaller beds, you want bigger beds, you want medium-sized beds, you should know the quality of feed you should go for. Maybe you want to do commercial feed, professional feed, or feed that will give you a very good results. Feed management, you want to ensure that there is no feed wastage. You are not wasting your feed, and then filling the feed to the brim of your pen. It is very, very important that you do not feed your older birds round the clock. You do not feed them during the hot seasons. Feed management. So that's that on feed management, and that is that on the mistakes that some farmers make. These are not all, there are still some. So I'll be making another video some other time to explain more mistakes. And that's that on poor feed management, and that's all I have for you for today on the mistakes that some farmers make on their farm. So guys, if you actually find this video helpful, kindly do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and do not forget to turn on your bell notification so that the next time we post new content, you'll be among the first set of people to get notified that we have posted new content. And if you want that record keeping template, kindly click the link in my description box to actually get that record keeping template. So as a broiler farmer, it's very important for you to keep records. If you're not keeping records, then what exactly are you doing? So guys, I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye.